Swiggy has consistently been losing its market share to Zomato. If you look at the data from the last 6 years, Swiggy's market share has declined every single year. In 2018, Swiggy held a commanding 61% share of the market, but by 2022, this had dropped to just 45%. And industry experts suggest this might have fallen down even further to 43% this year. If you do a head-to-head comparison between Swiggy and Zomato, it makes the situation even more concerning for Swiggy. While Swiggy is preparing for an IPO with an estimated valuation of $11 billion, Zomato already went public in 2021, and it currently has a market valuation of around $28 billion, nearly 2.5 times that of Swiggy. In FY 2024, Swiggy did a revenue of $1.36 billion, while Zomato did slightly better at $1.4 billion. But the real gap lies in profitability. Zomato declared its first ever profit of 351 crore for the year, whereas Swiggy posted a significant loss of over 2,350 crores. But the battleground between these two giants has shifted. The real competition now is in quick commerce. Zomato is in the game with Blinkit, while Swiggy is battling it out through Instamart. And even here, Blinkit is massively ahead of Swiggy. As of July 2024, Blinkit leads the quick commerce market with over 40% market share, while Instamart trails behind with roughly 25%. But what you would find surprising is that just a couple of years ago, in March 2022, things were the exact opposite. Swiggy Instamart was the market leader with over 52% share. And even when you look at the funds raised by these two, Swiggy should have been ahead. Zomato has raised around $2.6 billion so far, while Swiggy has raised nearly $1 billion more, totaling $3.62 billion. It has also burned significantly more cash than Zomato for the past 3 years. So how is Swiggy losing thousands of crores while generating the same revenue where Zomato is turning a profit? What went wrong in the past 2 years that caused Swiggy to lose its dominance in both food delivery and quick commerce? Will Swiggy be able to turn things around with fresh funds from its IPO, or is it already too late? To find out the answers, let's take a closer look at how Swiggy and Zomato arrived at their current positions. As of today, both Zomato and Swiggy are competing on 3 verticals. The third and the latest is the going out vertical. The second is quick commerce, and the first and most established is food delivery. So let's start with that. Zomato initially launched in 2008 in Gurgaon as a restaurant menu aggregator. So it was essentially a platform where users could find menus and details of local restaurants. And then in 2015, they expanded into food delivery services in India. Swiggy, on the other hand, was founded in 2014 in Bangalore as a food delivery service. Now, initially, Swiggy was ahead of Zomato as it offered a superior product. See, Zomato began food delivery in 2015, but its primary focus remained on restaurant discovery. So it relied on third-party companies like Delivery and Grab for deliveries, which often led to inconsistent customer experiences. But Swiggy, on the other hand, operated as a full-stack service from the start. It had its own delivery fleet, and the app was dedicated to food ordering. So this gave Swiggy a significant advantage, and by 2018, it had become the market leader in food delivery with a 61% market share. But if Swiggy was so far ahead in 2018, how did it lose ground so quickly in just a few years? Well, the answer lies in the difference in their expansion strategies. Initially, both companies dominated in their home grounds, Swiggy in Bengaluru and Zomato in Delhi NCR. However, as they expanded across the country, they followed fundamentally different strategies. Swiggy's main focus was on the top cities, and for good reason, because food delivery is far more profitable in metro areas than tier 2 and tier 3 cities. See, metros have a high population density of working population with no time to cook and more disposable income to spend. The restaurant density is also higher, allowing faster deliveries and more frequent orders per customer each month. All of this leads to higher order volumes and greater profitability for Swiggy and Zomato. But tier 2 and tier 3 cities, on the other hand, have fewer restaurants, lower demand, and more spread out delivery zones. This makes food delivery more expensive and less profitable. Another key difference is that in smaller cities, women's participation in the workforce remains low, so there is more free time at home to cook, eliminating the need to order from outside. Even today, the top 8 cities of India drive over 60% of the total food delivery. And here, understand how Swiggy chose a different path than Zomato. Swiggy limited its expansion to non-metro cities due to lower profitability. But Deepinder Goyal decided to place long-term bets on these regions, fully aware that they would not yield immediate results. Because he knew that while these areas might not be profitable right away, the next wave of growth for Zomato will come from these regions. And this strategic move eventually paid off. While Swiggy operates in over 650 cities across India, Zomato has a much broader presence covering over 800 cities. And this wider reach means Zomato is downloaded more frequently than Swiggy. In May 2023, Swiggy saw 11 million downloads, while Zomato had about 16 million downloads on the Play Store. And naturally, with more downloads, Zomato also boasts a larger user base. In the same period, Swiggy had 24 million monthly active users, while Zomato had 30 million. opinion. But the effects of this strategy are much more far-reaching. Even Zomato's network is more extensive. Swiggy has around 2 lakh restaurants and 2.7 lakh delivery riders, while Zomato has about 4 lakh restaurants and 3.3 lakh delivery riders. But there's one more crucial difference between Zomato and Swiggy that has proven to be game-changing, and that difference is Deepinder Goyal's relentless focus on acquisitions. To give you a sense of scale, by 2022, Swiggy had spent about $250 million on acquisitions, but Zomato was way ahead at over $1.2 billion. And thanks to this aggressive strategy, Zomato has a silent but major advantage that Swiggy can't match, and that is Hyperpure. In 2018, Zomato acquired a small company named Votu and rebranded it to Hyperpure. And while you might not have heard of Hyperpure, it contributed over 3,000 crore to Zomato's revenue in FY 2024. That's 25% of their total revenue. So what exactly is Hyperpure? Well, it is a B2B platform that supplies kitchen essentials to restaurants. So using Hyperpure, restaurants order all their ingredients from one app and get delivery directly to their kitchens. It claims to connect farmers directly with end-user restaurants, cutting out the middleman, so they get fresh produce like groceries and meat at affordable prices. And Hyperpure has been quietly growing ever since it was launched. In 2022, it accounted for 13% of Zomato's total revenue, which increased to 21% in 2023. And as I said, now it accounts for more than 25%. And Swiggy, unfortunately, has nothing that can compete with Hyperpure. It attempted to enter the B2B space twice, once in 2020 and again in 2023, but both attempts were unsuccessful. And that is how Zomato is winning the first vertical of food delivery. But the second vertical, and one of the hottest sectors in India right now, is quick commerce. See, the food delivery sector witnessed explosive growth for almost 7 years. This was a period that saw Swiggy and Zomato raise and burn over $5 billion. But the food delivery sector is now slowing down. According to this screenshot of a recent Zomato letter to its shareholders, food delivery grew by just 28% year on year. In comparison, the other two verticals showed much stronger growth. Quick commerce grew by nearly 100% and the going out vertical by 200%. So food delivery as a business has likely peaked. While it will continue to grow at a much slower pace, the days of triple-digit growth are behind us. So by 2020, both companies had already recognized this trend and started exploring new avenues for growth. And that was when they set their eyes on the new, shiny business in town, which was quick commerce. But even here, similar to food delivery, Swiggy was one of the first movers in the race. On the same food delivery app, Swiggy launched Instamart in August 2020, which promised delivery of groceries and daily needs in 15 to 30 minutes, which was radical and unheard of back then. Then in April 2021, Zepto entered the scene and raised the bar by offering 10-minute delivery. And then Crores, an independent company at that time, rebranded to Blinkit in December 2021 to enter the 10-minute delivery arena. So by March 2022, this was what the quick commerce sector in India looked like. Swiggy's Instamart was the leader with a 52% share. Zepto was the new shiny kid in town worrying everyone. And Crores or Blinkit was struggling with the lack of funds, while Zomato was nowhere in the race. But then Deepinder Goyal made an extremely bold and surprising move. Unable to resist his appetite for strategic acquisitions, he bought Blinkit for $569 million. And almost immediately, Zomato's stock dropped about 8%. Investors were doubtful. They questioned how Zomato would come up with the capital to support Blinkit's expansion, considering Zomato itself was operating at a loss. But in just 2 years, this acquisition has proven to be one of the best decisions Zomato has ever made, even better than the acquisition that started Hyperpure. In just 2 years, Blinkit has become the leader in the quick commerce space with a 40% market share. Instamart has been left behind at 32%, while Zepto is breathing down its neck at a close 28%. But when you look closely at these three, it does not make sense. Blinkit is the only platform that does not offer free delivery or a loyalty program. Both Swiggy One and Zepto Pass users can get free delivery for orders above 200 and 100 rupees. Blinkit, on the other hand, charges a delivery fee of up to 30 rupees no matter how large your order is. So theoretically, everyone should not opt for Blinkit and go for the free delivery options and loyalty programs, right? But the numbers are the exact opposite. Blinkit is generating almost twice the revenue of Instamart, even though it has just 20% more monthly active users. So why are people choosing Blinkit over Swiggy or Zepto? The answer is extremely interesting and you'll get it in the next 30 seconds. You see, quick commerce works on the concept of dark stores. A dark store is a warehouse that only handles online orders and isn't open for in-person shopping. So Blinkit sets up a dark store in a 3 to 6 kilometer radius of your home. And when you place an order, the staff packs it and hands it to the delivery delivery agent, and the agent then leaves and reaches your home in about 10 minutes. Now here is how the unit economics of a dark store work. If a dark store receives an order of 300 rupees, Blinkit has a margin between 5 to 40% depending on the items in the order. Let's say that for an average order, the profit margin is 20%. So for a 300 rupees order, Blinkit spends 80% or rupees 240 on product cost, and it is left with a margin of 60 rupees. But out of this 60 rupees, you have to remove the fixed costs: salary, electricity, and rent. Since dark stores are small and located in back alleys or basements, rent is almost nothing. In fact, the revenue per square feet for dark stores is the highest in the retail industry. So the fixed cost for a dark store are just about 30 rupees per order. Remember that this fixed cost remains roughly the same irrespective of how many orders come in. So after covering fixed costs, Blinkit is left with just 30 rupees. But here is the problem. Blinkit also needs to pay up to 50 rupees to the delivery agent per order. So they are essentially losing 20 rupees per order. And that's not even factoring in expenses like corporate salaries, server costs, and taxes. So the business is simply not profitable. In 2023, Blinkit reported a loss of 1078 crores, while Zepto lost 1272 crores. So does this mean that this second vertical of quick commerce can never be profitable? Well, not exactly. These companies can be made profitable. And for profitability, they have two levers to use. And Blinkit has been killing it at both these levers. The first lever is increasing the average order value. So if we go back to our example and increase the order value from 300 to 700, the profit margin goes up to 140 rupees. But the fixed cost and the delivery cost remain the same at 30 and 50 rupees respectively. So the final profit per order turns out to be 60 rupees. And with 4 lakh orders a day, this will translate into 2.4 crore rupees in profit every single day. And Blinkit seems to have cracked how to increase the average order value. While Instamart's average order value sits at 460 rupees, Blinkit is at 613 rupees. But how is Blinkit managing to do this? Well, one approach is by simply offering more products than its competitors. Blinkit claims to offer 7,000 plus products to its customers. These include not just groceries, but also beauty products, electronics, and apparel. They even sold PS5 consoles and offered delivery of printouts to your home. So by offering more products, Blinkit has not only increased its average order value and profitability, but it also enhances the customer experience by offering more choices. It also gives them a chance to slice into the share of e-commerce giants like Amazon. But as I said, increasing the average order value is only one lever for quick commerce platforms to drive profits. The second and more lucrative lever is advertising platforms. Blinkit, Zepto, and Instamart now have the eyeballs of millions of high-intent customers actively looking for products. So brands are now eager to pay these platforms to grab that attention. For instance, if you are searching for chocolates on Blinkit, then it makes sense for Cadbury to advertise their dairy milk right there. Setting up ad platforms that allow brands to run ads come at a very low cost, but it results in advertising revenue that is 95 to 99% pure profits. And Blinkit is absolutely killing it here. According to a quick commerce industry executive quoted by the Morning Context, Blinkit has the best ad platform among its competitors. It is also the only one offering a self-serve ad platform. A self-serve platform is where brands can just log into an ads account dashboard, create and manage their campaigns, and then track results in real time without any manual intervention. Blinkit also sends automated reports to advertisers every week to track their performance, which is extremely crucial for any marketing team. Zepto has improved recently, but its ad platform still doesn't offer the same features as Blinkit, and Instamart lags even further behind. The result is that in Q3 of FY 2024, Blinkit saw a 130% increase in their number of advertisers, and their advertising revenue grew by a massive 220% year on year. So while cash burn remains a concern for Blinkit, Instamart, and Zepto, only Blinkit and Zepto seem to be nearing profitability. So Zomato is ahead in food delivery as well as the quick commerce vertical. But the third vertical is shaping up to be the next battleground after quick commerce, which is the going out vertical. This vertical is basically a service that helps people find places to dine, hang out, or attend events. And it includes everything from booking a table at a restaurant to purchasing tickets for live shows or events. So Zomato's viral sale of Diljit's The Illuminati Delhi concert tickets fall under their going out vertical. But what does food or grocery delivery have in common with concert tickets? And why are Swiggy and Zomato both entering this segment? See, for both of these companies, this is the perfect area for expansion. There is a strong overlap in their audiences because the same people who frequently order food also enjoy going out. Swiggy and Zomato can tap into their existing customer base and increase their earnings by offering additional services. So while Swiggy has added added ticket and restaurant booking to their main app itself, Zomato is planning to launch a brand new app called District. And even in this vertical, Swiggy has been lagging behind Zomato so far. As of FY 2024, Zomato's revenue from its going out vertical reached $30 million, while Swiggy trailed behind with $19 million. Swiggy tried to take a leaf out of Zomato's playbook by acquiring Dine Out last year, but it seems like that acquisition is yet to make an impact. However, there was another recent acquisition that will have a major impact. But it wasn't made by Swiggy, it was made by Zomato. Similar to how Deepinder Goyal boldly acquired Blinkit a couple of years ago, he has recently made another bold acquisition just a few months ago. Zomato acquired Paytm's event and movie ticketing business for over 2,000 crore rupees. Paytm was the second largest player in this sector after BookMyShow. So with this acquisition, Zomato has suddenly become the second largest player in this space. So this bold move is one of the reasons Zomato is pulling ahead in the race while Swiggy is struggling. And in all three verticals, there is another USP of Zomato. Zomato is one of the best brands in India when it comes to marketing. Although both Swiggy and Zomato are known for their creative campaigns, Zomato manages to take it a step further. They are frequently in the spotlight for their witty and humorous social media content, often going viral by tapping into whatever is trending and their quirky in-app notifications. As a result, Zomato has a stronger online presence. It has nearly twice as many followers on Instagram and around 2.5 lakh more subscribers on YouTube. So does this mean that Swiggy is destined to fail? See, while Zomato may be ahead, this does not mean that Swiggy is losing the race. The food delivery industry is a strong duopoly, and both companies firmly hold their ground. Zomato has successfully outlasted competitors like Foodpanda, Uber Eats, Tiny Owl, and even Reliance-backed Dunzo. And this industry is highly dynamic. With the right strategy, either player could quickly overtake the other in just a few months. And don't forget that before turning in a profit of 351 crores this year, Zomato also posted a loss of almost 1,000 crores last year. A major difference between Swiggy and Zomato is also funding. Zomato had access to over $1 billion raised in its IPO, which Swiggy did not have until now. So things could change very quickly after the Swiggy IPO. The loyalty of food and grocery delivery customers is not to any app. Their loyalty lies with whoever offers the best prices and choices. Sign up for my e-com masterclass if you want to learn how you can create your own D2C brand. Subscribe here and follow me on LinkedIn and Instagram. The link is in the description below. Until I see you in the next video, goodbye.